create whatever daily routine that you want. So I'm like, why not create one that you like absolutely love? So I meal prepped like kind of like a Cobb salad for lunch, and in an attempt to be healthy, I got like organic ranch. Spoiler alert, the organic ranch, it's no good. So I am going to quickly run to our local market just to get some better ranch. And I'm also excited to get outside for a little bit. It looks like a good day out there. So new ranch, here we come. So we've got a base of iceberg lettuce and radicchio. Then I threw in a hard-boiled egg, some bacon, some blue cheese, some green onions, and then the good ranch. This is gonna be so much better than yesterday. Yesterday was the organic ranch. It wasn't the right color, it wasn't the right texture. I don't know how they could get away with calling that ranch, but it was not. It's actually like 400 times better. So those of you that work from home, I'm curious, do you like remove yourself from your desk for lunch? I feel like at the beginning of working from home, I used to feel really guilty for like walking away from my desk to eat lunch. And I don't know why, because in an office, you definitely leave your desk for lunch. But I think it's something about the psychology of like you're in your house. So if you're in your house, you at least want to be like at your desk, you know what I mean? Like it's a weird mental thing, the lunch while working from home. But now that I've been doing it for a while, I really prioritize, even if it's for only 10 minutes. Like sometimes I don't have the longest break. Like even if it's only for 10 minutes, I make sure to step away. So here I am on my couch. This morning I prepped my next round of homemade sourdough English muffins. Those have weirdly been, I wouldn't have thought this, but the homemade sourdough English muffins have really been, I think, like the most used bakery item. Does that make any sense? I feel like I'm phrasing that in a weird way. Like Miles and I are really grabbing for the homemade English muffins way more than I thought we would. I think it's because of how quick they are, and I think it's because of how like portion controlled they are. Like as much as I love my sourdough bread loaves, cutting a piece of sourdough bread is always a choose your own adventure. And sometimes because of the nature of the bread, and honestly because of our knives, sometimes the slices end up being like way too thin and like kind of fall apart. Other times they end up being like a thick boy. Sourdough English muffins are perfect. I freeze them so they stay good for a really long time. And then all you have to do in order to have a wonderful homemade English muffin is you just take it out of the fridge, put it in the microwave for like a minute, and then you toast it. And just like that, you have a wonderful homemade creation that took like 2 seconds on the day. Took me some time to actually make them, but on the actual day you eat them, it takes like 2 seconds. And that I think is something that I want to infuse into my life like more. Like I want to think ahead and prep ahead in a way to make my day-to-day like as special and as like fun as possible. Like prepping a homemade English muffin, it just makes a random Wednesday so nice. And I'm realizing as I get older, I'm not even that old, I'm 29, but I'm realizing just like as time passes that you really can create whatever daily routine that you want. So I'm like, why not create one that you like absolutely love? So that's honestly what I'm focusing on this week. How can I make like a random Tuesday or a random Wednesday or a random day in my life? How can I tweak it just a little bit to turn it into something that like I'm excited about? I feel like a lot of people really hate on like the mundane and like the average days, but I think that's because we just don't put that much effort into the average days. Think about the way you craft a Saturday versus the way you craft a Tuesday. We put in so much effort to making a Saturday a great day for ourselves. And then on a Tuesday, we just go through the motions. And then we wonder why we don't like Tuesdays. So I am embracing, honestly, the little shift in weather that we're having here in Chicago. I've been told to not get excited. I've been told that winter, like we can't say that winter's over yet, but it really has been like so beautiful and so nice. So I am embracing this little bit of an environmental shift to really like shift some things for myself too. But now I'm just gonna embrace these windows, honestly. Just as I was trying to say, it's so peaceful. Here comes the trash truck. But I'm really gonna take this moment to just like be happy for a second and enjoy a little break. And then if I have time, which I think I do, I'm gonna cook those English muffins. It is later and it is dinner time. Tonight for dinner, we're making a go-to. We're making our Calabrian chili vodka sauce pasta. It's amazing. Using Calabrian chilies in vodka sauce takes it to the next level, you guys. Just try it. But we're also trying something new. Tonight, we're adding into the recipe homemade meatballs. This to me is like the perfect style of dinner. I love a go-to dinner because it's very chill. You know it's gonna be good. It's very reliable. On a weeknight, you want reliability for dinner, but I also love trying new recipes, cooking new things. It just is more fun. So mixing something we know is good with something new, to me, that's the perfect mix. So I'm about to tell you that I've started crocheting. Stay with me, this is not a cry for help. And crocheting isn't necessarily my dream life that I've always dreamed of, but when I do think about my life and I dream about what type of life I would want to have, let me tell you, watching TV while simultaneously scrolling on my phone, that's not a part of the dream life that I envision. I have gotten into such like an addiction with big screen, little screen, like it's just not good. If I'm watching something that I enjoy, I will focus, but the second that there's a commercial break, I've got my phone. And then what's really bad is if I'm rewatching something or if I'm watching something more passive, I will literally have my phone and be scrolling at the same time that I'm watching something. Like when I picture the life I wanna live, I'm not picturing myself doing that. So crocheting is my attempt to kind of rewrite the narrative here. I like took a step back and I reflected on the things that I was scrolling through and like the videos I was watching. And they were all very like soothing, relaxing videos. I was watching people like vacuum. I was watching people like ice cookies, like very repetitive, very soothing. And it just kind of hit me. I was like, why am I sitting here watching people do these type of activities when I could just do that activity? This is kind of what I mean when I was saying that like we can create any life, any routine that we want. So if I'm reflecting on my life and my routine and I'm like, oof, this isn't necessarily what I want, like it's fully in my power to change that. But before I can kind of like mindlessly just crochet while I watch TV, I first need to learn how to crochet. So I've been spending this morning like trying to figure it out. This was my first attempt. It's honestly not that bad, but as you can see, like I've been kind of like slowly, the rows have been getting smaller and smaller as I go up. I'm having trouble knowing when I'm at the end of the row and knowing when I'm supposed to turn around. Like if you look at this, I've been like turning around and going the other way much too soon. Then I tried this one and it's a little better, but it did get smaller towards the end. Then I moved on to red for a change of scenery. And I think I've actually managed to keep it the same length the entire time. Like that's pretty rectangular. And I don't know what to tell you guys, but this is fun. I've watched so many YouTube videos, I've watched so many TikToks, and I feel like I have like the basic movement down. I picked it up kind of quickly, and I don't know if it's because like when I was younger, I used to crochet. Me and my family, we used to drive to New York every summer and every Christmas because that's where most of our family was, and it was a 14-hour drive. And I have this distinct memory of when me and my sister were in our crochet era. Like we were sitting in the back seat of the car with like 2 giant things of yarn, our crochet hooks, and we just went to town probably while we were watching Gilmore Girls or something like that. And we both, I think at the time we were just doing like chains, just like long ass chains. But I remember by the end of that car ride, like the entire car was covered in like a chain of crochet between the two of us. But that was when I was kind of young and I have not done it since. But I wonder if the skill is somewhere still in me. I wonder if it's like riding a bike, I don't know. But now that I've figured out like the basics, I'm just gonna like practice doing swatches while we're watching probably some of my more passive TV. I've recently discovered Vampire Diaries. Now, how this has not come across my desk in my 29 years, I don't know how. It's like everything that I love. It's Twilight meets One Tree Hill, meets like a soap opera. It's cheesy, but the twists are good. It is a little bit scary. Like sometimes the jump scares do get me a little bit, but that I think is the perfect show to crochet to, because I don't need to like fully pay attention. Like I think I could just like listen and glance and get the gist while I do this, because that's honestly kind of what I was doing while I was scrolling anyways. I would be like mainly looking at my phone and then kind of look up to like touch base with Vampire Diaries. But this is so much more wholesome. So yeah, but I've been doing this for a while this morning. I did use my extended morning this morning to try and figure this out. But little by little, I'm just adding things into the daily routine that make me excited about the daily routine. Adult hobbies, I think, are so important. I think this is gonna be a really good addition. But now it is time to get ready and begin my day. And honestly, it's time because my hand hurts. I feel like I went a little too hard, a little too fast. I feel like Ariana Grande trying to clean in this massive cardigan right now. Before I'm gonna get ready, I also just watered our fig tree. And you guys, this is something that has also made life so exciting. Like, I'm doing it, you guys. I am growing a tree. Since we've got it, these 2 leaves are new. And look, he just popped out 2 more. We haven't named him yet, but he's just thriving. This is such a perfect example of something so small and something so simple, but something that really like brings joy. Like seeing this leaf pop out, you guys, it was like Christmas. Like in my opinion, these little things are what life is about. I want more of that. At some point during making the bed, the battery died. Not sure when, but finished bed. I also had one of my homemade English muffins for breakfast. They're so good. I can't get over it. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Baking things that you can freeze and make like a random day, just like super fun, it's the way to go. But yeah, now I think I'm just gonna work for the day. I'll be honest, I have no clue how long this video is. The lighting also keeps changing every 2 seconds in here. The weather has been insane in Chicago, and I think I may have jinxed it because we had a few like very spring, almost summer days. And I did declare to Miles, I was like, we made it through our first Chicago winter. And then it snowed, but I'm glad that I like jumped into action the second that we got a little bit of like spring new life energy, because I feel like I've really been using it to like upgrade my life a little bit. This is why when I say like obviously living in LA for 6 years, the fact that it was like pretty much the same temperature every single day, pretty much the same conditions. Like obviously it got warmer in the summer, but like every day was like relatively the same with like little variance. Now obviously that's a blessing. Obviously that's really awesome considering that it's like sunny and bright and gorgeous every single day. But there is something about the lack of change that makes things feel very Groundhog's Day. Like you're living the same thing over and over and over, and it can be very hard to like change things in your life when your environment is not changing. That's why I've said like implementing new hobbies in the fall or in the spring, that makes so much more sense to me than putting all of this pressure on New Year's when like it's been cold, it's been the same, nothing's changed. Why are we putting so much pressure? Like it's winter, we should be chilling. We should not be putting so much pressure on ourselves to become like the best version of ourselves, in my opinion. December to January, it's not a transition time. I think that's why New Year's resolutions fail. But so this spring energy that has happened, although there is literally snow outside right now, the brief spring energy really just like invigorated me, and it motivated me to like really look at my life and understand like I'm in control. What do I value? What do I want? Let's implement it. Like I'm an adult, I can live the life I want. I feel like so often we look at our lives on like a macro level and like, yes, I can't change big circumstances of my life right now. Like I can't, obviously like bigger things take time. And I think because of that aspect, we think like, oh, we can't change the big things, so that means we can't change anything. Like our lives are out of our control. But we can change the small things. And when you change enough small things, all of a sudden you look up and the big picture is completely different. I feel like it's kind of ingrained in us that like we need to do big things in order to see big changes. But I think it's the opposite. I think actually smaller things matter way more. I don't know. I'm just out here trying to do my best. But yeah, it's been really nice to bring you guys along for my week this week. I feel like it got inspirational out of nowhere, at least for me. But let me know, do you guys have any little tweaks that you've made in your life recently that have had a big change? Let me know. As always, I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you're having a good week, and I'll see you guys next time.